So we're finding the cost per equivalent unit for conversion costs for Darden. And so if we write down that formula, we've got cost per equivalent unit. This is for conversion. And that is equal to, because we're using the weighted average method, the beginning work in process, dollars, right? Because we're doing a cost per equivalent unit, plus any costs added during the period, divided by our equivalent units of production. And in chapter 5A, we were able to learn how to calculate equivalent units of production, and so we're going to be doing that as part of this formula. So the problem already tells us what our numerator is going to be. They say our beginning work in process for conversion is $16,200 plus a total of $836,880 was added during the period for conversion costs. Right, and that gives me a total of $853,080. Okay, so that's going to be my numerator. Now, how many equivalent units am I going to spread that over? And again, big picture, we're going to be using this cost per equivalent unit calculation to determine what is the cost of my ending work in process for this welding department, and then what is the cost of the units that I'm transferring either into the next department or into finished goods if this is my last processing department in production. So my equivalent units of production, I'm going to do a little calculation down here. So I have EU units of production. All right, so what is the formula for equivalent units of production? It's my completed and transferred units. So I'm just going to say completed units plus my equivalent whole units in ending work in process. And ending WIP. Okay, so the problem tells me that there were 17,000 units in ending work in process for the welding department. They were 70% complete with respect to conversion. So I have this piece, 17,000 units times 70% complete is equal to 11,900 equivalent whole units. They do not give me this completed units piece, but I have a lot of other information. And so I'm going to go back and start to use my T account, that weird way that I use the T accounts in units. So I've got work in process for welding. It says my beginning units were 18,000. I started into production an additional 84,000, and then I had these 17,000 units that I was still working on in ending work in process. So how many units did I complete and transfer into the next department? So I can solve for X. 18,000 plus my 84,000 minus X gives me 17,000. X equals 85,000 units completed and transferred to the next department. Right, so my equivalent units of production is my 85,000 plus my equivalent units in ending work in process. So I'm going to spread cost over these units and these units to get what is the cost moving out and then what is the cost left behind. So equivalent units of production, 96,900. And that becomes my denominator in my cost per equivalent unit calculation. So divided by 96,900 equivalent units of production gives me, now I do have to round here, approximately $8.804 per equivalent unit. And that is C. So C is my answer.